What's up, everybody? Tonight we're making a quiche. The first thing we need to do is make our pie crust. So, cheers and let's cook. For the crust, I'm going to go into a bowl with 1 1/8 cups all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. We'll just whisk all that together. Now I have half a cup of cold butter that I just cut into small pieces. Get that in there. I'm going to take my pastry cutter and just start cutting that butter in until I have pieces no bigger than a pea. That's looking good. Just knock off that flour and butter. Now I'm going to go in with about 3 to 4 tablespoons of ice water. Mix that in with my hand until it starts to come together. That's what I'm looking for there. You don't want to add too much water. You don't want your dough to be too wet. So now I'm just going to take that, dump it onto my table, and work it until it turns into a ball. I'm trying to do this quick. I'm touching it as little as possible. You don't want the heat from your hands to melt that butter. It doesn't take long. Already starting to get a dough. There you go. Now I'm just going to take our ball of pie crust and flatten that out into a disc. It's going to help us roll it out later. I'm going to go into some plastic wrap. Just wrap that up nice and tight. And this is going to go into the fridge for 1 hour. We'll be right back. It is time to roll out our pie crust, so just going to put down some flour. Start rolling that out. I want this to be about 1 inch wider than the pie pan I'm going to be using. I think we are just about there. So a good way to measure that is just take your pie plate, just set it down there. Looks like we got an inch overhang all the way around. I'll pop that off. Get my rolling pin back. Just pick up that edge. Roll up our crust. It's going to go right onto our pie plate. Just let that fall down into it. You don't really want to push it and stretch it out. Just ease it down in there. Take a pair of scissors. Just cut off some of this excess. Put a real simple fork crimp around the edges. That crust is looking good, but it did warm up a little bit while we were working with it. So I'm going to just drape some saran wrap over that. And go into the freezer for a half an hour before we go into the oven. I will start preheating my oven to 425 degrees. Pie crust is out of the freezer, so I'm just going to take a fork and dock the bottom. Let that steam release while it's baking. And I got 2 sheets of tinfoil. I'm just going to lightly press into the shape of my pie. And we got some dried beans. This is going to be for a blind bake. I'm going to slightly cook that crust before we go in with our filling and bake it so the crust gets nice and crispy in the end. Alright, now I'm going to go into my 425 degree oven for 15 minutes. While our pie crust is doing its blind bake, we'll go ahead and put together our filling. For the filling, I'm going to crack in 4 room temperature eggs. Well, this is where you get creative. You could really just use anything you got left over in your fridge in here. You just want to make sure it's nothing that has too much water in it. Then I got 1.25 cups of heavy cream, 1 cup of diced ham, 1 cup of shredded cheddar, and 1/2 cup of sliced scallions. Just going to give that a light whisk with a fork to break up those eggs. You don't want to beat this too much. You want it to be nice and custardy in the end. Just mix that together, get all those eggs broken up. Almost forgot, we're gonna mix in a pinch of salt as well. That is looking good, so we'll just set that to the side and wait for our pie crust to come back out. Crust is out of the oven, so I'm just gonna remove that. And you can reuse these beans. You don't want to cook these beans though, but keep using them for pie weights. Now we're going to take our filling, just scrape that into our crust. That is going to go back into a 350 degree oven for 25 minutes. Just going to spread your fillings around. Back into the oven. 25 minutes is up and we're not done baking yet. And this is optional. You could just bake all the way through, but I'm going to take 1/4 cup of cheddar cheese. Just spread that over the top as a nice little garnish. Then we're going to pop that back in for another 15 to 20 minutes or until we just lose that jiggle in the middle. We just want it set up. Our quiche baked for 15 minutes and it's got just a slight jiggle to the entire thing now. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to let this sit for another 20 minutes before I cut into it. It'll finish setting up. We'll be ready to eat. We got an awesome quiche here, guys. That recipe is written in the description right below the video. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.